Hey, Kim, how you doing?
Hi, Jeff. How you doing?
Good. Back for
Good.
another open lab. If I quit catching my sleeves on my chair, I'll be doing great here. So, but that's a live show, right? Stuff happens.
Exactly. That's what we always say. It's live. Like I can hear
But
my cats trying to get in my door right now. So,
yeah, we have a guest today, um, Laura McCall from Sponsored Profit that we'll get into in a little bit. But wherever you're watching us from, either Facebook or YouTube, feel free to make a comment and we'll see that. I see that Facebook may be having some issues
Mhm.
for some reason, but looks like we have YouTube's joining us, so hopefully the Facebook is going to get it. Oh, maybe they fixed it. No, let me just do a quick look on. Yeah, it looks like it's messed up on Facebook, but we have YouTube, so we'll just
Okay.
keep going.
Absolutely.
So now that I moved off of that, I need to. I'll let you go with the swag promo while I fix
Absolutely.
my
Absolutely.
window here.
All right. So, as you guys know, we like to make you work for your swag. Um, so this one it's pretty straightforward. If you would like a chance for your name to be entered into our IL swag drawing, which we always do at the end of the broadcast, just type in your answer to this question in the comments section. What's your biggest Q4 challenge this year? So for anyone out there selling, whatever platform you're on, what's your biggest Q4 challenge this year? Go ahead and type your answer into the comments. And again, your name will be automatically entered into the drawing for a chance to win some awesome IL swag.
Oh, that's a good question. So, we always talk about Roadhouse. It's kind of our thing here. So, Dalton's number one rule is to never underestimate your opponent and expect the unexpected, which I do have, I should take issue with CBS's Big Brother because I believe they stole that from him because that's what they say, expect the
Really?
unexpected. Yeah,
Hmm.
and Roadhouse came out before CBS's Big Brother, so I'm pretty sure
Yeah.
they stole it. But anyway, this is especially true with Amazon. So they've
Oh,
made another change. So um, the dates for the holiday have changed. So you need to get your stuff in by December 2nd. They changed it from December 11th. So get it in by December 2nd to make sure it's available for purchase for the Christmas holidays. So
that's good to know.
yeah. And we also made reference, last week about my attempts at, I'd shaved, I'd ruined the reference. So I found a picture of me and side by side with Sam Elliott, so we can kind of see how close I'm
You're a dead
getting.
ringer. If you
Yeah, dead
you just
ringer, right?
slap some specs on him and you are good to go. I mean, I wouldn't be able to tell you
Yeah,
apart. You got to
you
grow
see
your
us.
hair out a little more, though.
Yeah. So my eyebrows are a little bit shaggier, I think, so I need to work on that. But yeah, otherwise, yeah, I think it's
What's going on with
pretty
your hair? Were you
close,
hanging
right?
upside down when you took
No, that's my morning hair when I grow it out. Can't help it. That's why you'll see me in a baseball cap unless I've showered. So, but
That just made my whole week, Jeff. Thank you.
but anyway, we should bring in Laura so we can
Absolutely.
say hi and everybody can learn from her. Hey, Laura,
Hi.
Laura,
thanks for
Hello.
joining us
Hello.
today.
Yeah, thank you
so,
for having me.
so
Yeah,
exciting to have a guest.
yeah.
I can tell.
Yeah.
I'm excited to be here. This is the first time I've ever done StreamYard, so I'm popping my StreamYard cherry
There you
today.
go.
So yeah, excitement all around.
Yeah, the Facebook thing is still kind of bothering me, but it's on YouTube, so it'll be available there.
Yes.
Yeah, so, but anyway, you're with Sponsored Profit, and you guys deal with PPC or pay-per-click advertising on Amazon.
Yeah, we do indeed. We're a UK-based Amazon PPC agency, and yeah, we've been working in this space for over 3 years now. So
Wow.
and that's all we do, day in, day out. It keeps us on our toes, keeps us busy.
Yeah, you're probably dealing with Amazon changes all the time. like we are. So
yeah, I mean, constantly, constantly. It comes thick and fast. So, you know,
yeah,
to go back to your reference, expect the unexpected. I mean, that is Amazon and the algorithm in a nutshell. So
Yeah,
yeah.
it is. It is. Do you have someone in the organization who's just dedicated, like that's, you know, their job to keep on top of the changes, or is it something everybody has to kind of be aware of?
Oh, yes, because Amazon don't give you a heads up.
Mhm.
right.
It's oftentimes, you know, we'll just notice something might be off, or you know, a campaign isn't behaving as it should, or you know, we feel like there's little gremlins in the system, as it were. So yeah, we've become really good at you know, at kind of sleuthing and being investigators and trying to figure out, okay, what's going on, something's not quite right. So yeah, we just kind of roll with it now, and we just, you know, expect stuff to happen, and then we just figure it out, and then we just carry on.
Yeah.
That's all you can do, right?
Pretty much.
Just try to keep your head above water. So
That's it.
Well, I know we only have you for, well, you're going to stick with us for the whole show, but you have got quite the presentation. So I'll just go ahead and put that up there so you can start in on that. Let's make the screen a little bit bigger here for people to see. So yeah, take it away.
All right. Well, look, no pressure after that. I hope my slides are as impressive as you think they are, Jeff. So
I'm sure they are. I'm sure.
well, look, I'm going to try and keep it fairly simple and fairly straightforward, and just kind of really talk through you know, how sellers can prepare their Amazon PPC for a profitable Q4, and that's the key part. Q4 is a great time to make sales, but more importantly, we want people to make money. So we're just going to really kind of cover off, you know, how sellers can get the most out of the Q4 period. So essentially, what I'm going to cover is why you should prepare your Amazon PPC for Q4, how to prepare, and also when to prepare. So we'll dive straight in. So why you should prepare your Amazon PPC for Q4. So I'll be the bearer of bad news. I'll get the bad news out of the way first. You know, during Q4, we face higher ad costs. So during Q4, and you know, Q4 is now underway, competition for paid real estate increases, and advertisers are willing to spend more. So typically what happens is we start to see ad costs start to go up around the end of Q3. So that's already started. And typically they don't go back down until after the new year. So what we see typically is higher cost per click. So cost per click, as the name suggests, is the cost you pay every time a shopper clicks on your ad. That's how the whole, you know, pay-per-click advertising model works. And typically, most Q4s and holiday seasons, we see those cost per clicks go up by around 30%. So what this means is that you need to plan for a realistic budget to invest in Amazon advertising, you know, right up until the end of the new year period. Now, I'm going to go through some tips that can help you get the most out of your ad dollars. So even though we're facing higher ad costs, something I'm going to talk about shortly is we see conversion rates increase because there's a lot more shopping activity. So, you know, people tend to make more sales as a result of the higher demand. So it kind of tends to balance itself out a little bit. But yeah, the bottom line is ad costs will go up. So we kind of want to plan ahead so that we can get the most out of our ad budget. The second reason is an obvious reason, right? It's to maximize sales. So, you know, last year it was calculated that 42 cents out of every dollar spent in the holiday season was being spent on Amazon, which is just a huge number to consider. So what we want to do, and by planning ahead, is, you know, we want to make the most of this increase in traffic, and we want to make the most of the increase in demand and the increase in shopping activity. So what that means is we want to be visible 24/7. So we want our ads to be up. We want our ads to be showing all day, every day, so we can, make the most of that sales uplift. So that's something that we call always on campaigns. So we want our budget to basically support always on campaigns. We want to make sure our ads are visible all the time. And then last but not least, we want to maximize profit. That's why we want to plan ahead. And of course, this is the most important reason of all three. Amazon PPC at the end of the day is data. It's keywords and it's bids. And so what we want to do is we want to use that data to our advantage. We want to find, what's working in our campaigns, and we want to do more of that. And conversely, we want to find out what's not working, and we want to stop doing that. And when we sort of take this approach, essentially what we're doing is we want to make the best use of our data to maximize our profit. So those are really the key reasons why we want to prepare. So now I'm going to go through, how we can prepare our Amazon PPC. So I'm going to outline for you, a very simple 3-step plan. The first thing we want to do is we want to optimize our product listings. Then we want to optimize our PPC campaigns. And then we want to optimize our ad budget. And optimize is just another word for improve. So the first step is optimizing your product listings. As I said, we really want to be able to take advantage of the spike in traffic, and we want to make sure our product listings, are as highly optimized as possible. And there's 2 ways that we can do this. So the first way is we want to optimize for clicks. So what I mean by that is we want to make sure that our ads are shown for the most relevant keywords and search terms. So what we want to do is we want to make sure that the keywords in our PPC campaigns, we want to make sure our top performing keywords are in our product listing and our back-end search terms, so that our ads get shown essentially to the right audience. So if someone's looking for a silicone spatula and we sell a silicone spatula, we want to make sure that our ad shows for that keyword or related keywords. And so, what this is really focusing on is the relevancy of our ads. We want to make sure that when a customer types in a search term, our ads get shown for that search term, and then we win the click. So one way to measure, or the way rather to measure the relevancy of our ads is to monitor what's called our click-through rate. So again, that's the percentage of times an ad gets clicked. And so the average on Amazon is 0.4%. That sounds like a low number. It's actually quite high as it goes in terms of e-commerce. And what we want to do is, by monitoring and measuring that metric, that click-through rate, and can be found in Campaign Manager, improve your click-through rate, you'll improve your sales, because we're always making sure that we have the most relevant keywords for our products, so that our ads get shown to the shoppers who are looking for those products, who are looking and typing in those search terms. The second way we can optimize our product listings, and this is the low-hanging fruit, is to optimize for conversions. So let's imagine that a shopper is looking for that silicone spatula. They've typed in silicone spatula, our ad gets shown, so they click on it. So that was the first part. We optimize for that click. Now they're on our product listing page. So what we want to do is we want to ensure that our title, our product images, our bullet points, the product description, and if you have the A+ content, which is all the visual content and video that sits below the description, we want to make sure that's as engaging and persuasive as possible. So we can, convert the visitor or the shopper rather to our product listing. We can now convert them from a shopper to a customer. As I mentioned in the beginning, the good news is that conversion rates are typically higher over the holiday period, because everybody's shopping. There's, you know, a lot more demand. People are in the mood to buy. So if there's one thing I can kind of impart on this presentation today, is this is the low-hanging fruit. If you only do one thing, it's make sure that your product listings are as compelling and persuasive as possible, so you can take advantage of that high demand, so that when shoppers you know, they land on your on your product listing, that, you know, you've got great product imagery and photos, that you've got, you know, compelling bullet points, so they're benefit-led bullet points. They really speak to the customer, whether it resolves a problem they have, whether it's making their life better in some way, whatever it is, it's really connecting and resonating with them, so they're reading those bullet points thinking, this is exactly what I want. This is, you know, what I'm looking for, and you know, all of that good stuff. We kind of really want, you know, them to kind of go, yep, this is for me, and click buy. So how do we measure conversions? We measure conversions through a metric called unit session percentage. You can find this in business reports, and basically, you know, we can, you know, monitor, you know, the percentage of our conversion, you know, through this metric. And again, when we improve our product listing, and we improve the conversion of our product listing, we also improve how well our ads convert, and again, we'll make more sales. So that one is super important. So that's the first step. That's the product listings, clicks and conversions. So next, let's move on to the PPC campaigns themselves. And really, when I'm talking about optimizing our PPC campaigns, really what I'm talking about is, again, optimizing our keywords. And so there are two types of keywords. There's positive keywords. So these are keywords and search terms that we want our ads to show for. And in a little bit, I'll explain what negative keywords are. And these are keywords and search terms that aren't relevant to our products and that we don't want our ads to show for. And there's a reason that we want to focus on those two. So let me talk about the positive keywords first, and what I call our best performers. There's a principle called the Pareto Principle, which is essentially the 80-20 rule, where you generally see that you get 80% of results from 20% of inputs. And this rule kind of shows up in lots of different places. But, you know, what you'll find if you look inside your campaigns is typically, you'll notice that about 20% of your search terms drive 80% of your sales. 20% of your campaigns drive 80% of your sales. So when I talk about best performers, what I'm talking about is keywords that are really going to generate and drive sales for us. These are keywords with 3 or more sales, and keywords with high relevance. So we're looking again at that click-through rate. So we're looking for a click-through rate of 0.4% and above. I'm going to show you now how to find those best performers, and I'll explain why they're important. So what you want to do is you want to use your search term report. Again, you can find this in Campaign Manager. Another really important thing to bear in mind is your search term report is your friend. So if you're relatively new to PPC, or you don't sort of, you're not overly familiar with sort of managing your PPC, maybe you're new to PPC, your search term is your friend. You want to download this report, and it's going to tell you a lot of very important information. So I'll be happy to run through that really quick with you right now. So as I said, you'll go into Campaign Manager and click Reports. What you want to do, so for most folks, you know, almost everyone advertises, if not exclusively, but for the most part, in sponsored products, which is one of the ad formats available through Amazon advertising. You want to select sponsored products for the campaign type. You want to select search term. you want to select daily for the time unit, and then you want to select the last 30 days. You can find all of these under the configuration tab. You'll then be shown your search term report, which you can download as an Excel spreadsheet. Essentially, what you want to do is you want to sort and filter. So hit that column, and then what we're looking for is sort by 7 days, 3+ sales, and a click-through rate of 0.4%. And so what that's going to do then is that's Amazon telling you that over the past 30 days, these are the search terms that have generated sales for you that are that have a high click-through rate, that are super relevant for your product. So these are your best performers. This is where you are going to want to focus a lot of your budget, and I'll talk on to optimizing your budget in a moment. But these are the key keywords that are going to make your Q4 profitable for you. So super important. Now, if you want a pro tip and you want to kind of sort of up your keyword optimization game, and you want to kind of really dial in your campaigns, you might want to consider, as you kind of take a look at those top performing keywords, which of those keywords are within an acceptable ACoS range. So ACoS stands for advertising cost of sale. Simply put, ACoS is how much you spend on Amazon advertising in order to generate $1 in revenue from that spend. So let's say you have an ACoS of 30%. This means that for every 30 cents spent on Amazon advertising, you are generating $1 of revenue from that advertising. So what you want to do is you want to kind of get an idea of also what your profit margin is before you spend on ads. And if that's around 30%, then you've got a break even ACoS of around 30%. So you'll want to be targeting keywords that have that ACoS or better. And then what that means is that you're not losing any money on those clicks, and if anything, you might be making money on those clicks. So that's super important. The percentage of ad spend relative to sales as a percentage, out of a dollar amount. And so if you want to, as I say, really kind of crank up your keyword optimization, that's a really good way to do it. I mentioned earlier negative keywords. So probably the easiest way to describe negative keywords is they're like vampires. They suck the life out of your budget. They're irrelevant keywords that you don't want to show for. So let's go back to our favorite example of a silicone spatula. Let's say you sell a red silicone spatula. Well, you don't want your ads to show for blue silicone spatula, right? Because that's not what your product is. That's not what the shopper is looking for. So as well as making sure we know what our top performing keywords are, positive keywords are that we want to show for, we want to kind of be building out and targeting keywords that we don't want our ads to be showing for, because what they'll do, as well as drain your budget, they'll actually decrease your conversion rate, and then they'll also increase your ACoS. So again, then you'll start either wasting money or your ads will start costing you more money. This is a super effective strategy. It's not overly advanced. It takes a little bit of practice, but I want to share it because we found that we can cut waste in an ad campaign by 30 to 52% using this strategy. So this is a really effective strategy to really hone in on those negative keywords that are going to drain your budget. So if you create a list of single words that are highly relevant to your product, add them as a negative phrase to prevent your ads from showing for those searches. So I've got an example here. And so again, we've got an advertiser report here, a search term report. So in this example, let's say we sell a wooden scrubbing brush. We can see in this report that our ads have shown and been clicked for multiple times on silicone. And as a result of that, our campaigns have wasted over $171 because our ads are showing for a relevant search term and they're still getting clicked on. Because again, shoppers might go, oh, what's that? Oh, it's silicone, it's not wooding. No, I don't want that. And then they'll bounce off the page and they'll go elsewhere. So simply by adding the single word silicone, but we add it as a negative phrase match, what we'll do is we'll eliminate all clicks for any phrases that contain that word silicone. So that's a lot of people, when it comes to negative keywords, a lot of sellers, the default strategy, and there's a place for this strategy, is to negative exact search terms. And so exact is exactly what someone types in: red silicone spatula, let's say. A phrase, all of a sudden you can have those keywords in any order, but this is far more powerful than an exact match strategy, which is the kind of go-to strategy for most sellers. So this is super important. This is a really great strategy. And then lastly, what we want to do, so we've optimized our product listings, we've optimized our PPC campaigns. Now we kind of get down to brass tacks. We're going to start optimizing our ad budget. So we want to make sure that we spend our ad dollars as wisely as possible. So I said earlier that we want to set a budget for 24/7 visibility. Now, when it comes to your budget in your ads, what you have is a daily budget. So it kind of runs for a 24-hour period. So by setting a budget, we're kind of setting a cap on your ad spend. Now, as more and more competitors fight for the top spots in the day, because obviously, as I mentioned, advertising gets more competitive during this time because everyone wants a bigger slice of the pie. What we want to do is we want to sit there patiently and scoop up sales later in the day, because if our competitors are maybe going after really competitive keywords and they're running out of budget sort of early in the day, we want to sit back and then we want to start picking up those sales later in the day, because we've kind of got a budget that will last with the day. That we might have lower bids, but what we'll do is we'll make our budget last longer. So what we want to do is we kind of want our ads to be visible for as long as possible, and so we want to set a budget that's high enough, as I said, to support those ads, so they're always on display. Now, sellers understandably get a little bit nervous about spending too much money. There's a way, as I said, when you set a daily budget, you are setting a cap, but there is a new budget rules feature that has become available in Campaign Manager. It's quite new, actually. It's only been out a month or so. And what it does is it gives sellers the ability to set campaign budgets in advance using this new budget rules feature. And so Amazon have designed this deliberately for what we call high traffic events. So, as we come into Black Friday, Cyber Monday, the holidays, these are, Prime Day in the summer. These are high traffic events. This is when there's a lot of people on the platform. So now what we can do is we can set up budget rules in advance. So if we've calculated our budget, we know, what our main keywords are that we're going to be going for. And so we start calculating, okay, how much budget do I need or can I afford to make my ads as visible for as long as possible, day in, day out. You can use this new feature to basically set those rules for specific date ranges as well. So you can, kind of earmark those specific dates, and you can then kind of set up, specific custom budgets specifically for those dates. So what it does is it, again, is giving sellers a lot more control over their spend, and allows that sort of planning in advance. So, so you don't have to be sort of, constantly refreshing your account to see, how much, your ads are spending. Another recommendation that I would make for your ad budget. So we've kind of calculated how much we can afford to spend on a daily basis on our ads. again, we kind of use this 80-20 rule. What we would do is we'd say, ring fence 80% of your budget, the majority of your budget, for those best performers, for the stuff that works, those high converting, highly relevant, positive keywords, because these are the keywords that are going to bring home the bacon, right? These are the keywords that are proven to generate sales for you. We want the majority of our ad budget to go to those. Then if you want to, set aside some of your budget to go after holiday related keywords, then, you can basically set aside maybe 20% of your ad budget to kind of go after, more seasonal keywords. We would suggest putting these in a separate campaign. That way you can turn it on for the holiday season, and then you can turn it off after the holiday season. So it makes it very easy to manage. And when I say those holiday keywords, there's two types. So we would then sort of split that 20% in half. So we'd sort of 80, 10, 10, our budget. So 80% on the best performers, and then 10% on holiday keywords that are related to your product. So let's say you sell a men's wallet. So you might want something like holiday gifts plus men's wallet. That's kind of specific to your product. And then maybe 10% on kind of broader generic browsing keywords that might be holiday gifts for men. This can certainly generate additional sales for you during this holiday period. But these keywords, they do tend to become quite expensive because they're quite competitive, because there's so much traffic for these very broad, almost like window shopping type keywords. And obviously they don't convert as well because, holiday gifts for men, I mean, there's any number of gifts you can buy for men. So that one is it wouldn't kind of be our top recommendation, but, sometimes it's worth just having a smaller budget set aside just to make a few sales here and there on those very sort of specific holiday keywords. And then lastly, when to prepare for your Amazon PPC for Q4. Now, that's it. This is the shortest slide out of all of them. It's never too late. It's never too late to start planning. As I said, where you're going to get the best bang for your buck is definitely focusing on your product listings. I can't state that enough. And so, look at those images. Look at your bullet points. Look at your description and your A+ content if you have it, and start monitoring your unit session percentage rate to just kind of see if the improvements that you're making working. So absolutely get to it now, because it will definitely serve you well when the silly season really kicks in. And so if you are looking for some tips as to how you can make those improvements to your product listing, we've got a 40-point checklist. It's very comprehensive, but it's broken down section by section. If you'd like a free PDF that will take you through all the elements of your product listing, what to focus on, some tips to make your product listings as compelling as possible, then we've got a free PDF that you can download at sponsoredprofit.com/checklist. And that in itself should hopefully be a good tool for you to really get the most out of your product listings in terms of conversions and have a really great Q4.
Hey, that's awesome.
Yeah, that is really, really cool.
There's a lot of strategy involved that I had no clue about. I didn't know a lot about pay-per-click anyway, but then as you started going through all this with negative keywords and splitting up the 20 into 2 10s and focusing on different areas, and wow, I can see how somebody could really lose a ton of money if they weren't up on this.
Absolutely. And Laura, just for anyone that might be joining us late, I know we still are having some issues with Facebook, but I know that there are people on YouTube watching right now. Can you just give us just a general overview of what PPC actually is?
Yeah, absolutely. So PPC stands for pay per click advertising. It's not unique to Amazon. It's the same principle that applies to Facebook ads, to Google AdWords, and essentially it's we call it paid real estate. So it's paid placements on the Amazon platform. So if you type in a search term, good old silicon spatula. For some reason, that seems to be the go-to in our industry as an example. It's either silicon spatula or it's garlic press. I don't know why. I don't know how that started, but it's like this thing now. So what you'll have is once you hit that search term into the search bar, you get the search page results. So you'll get a list of products listed, and then the advertisements will be the paid placements in those search term results. So you'll see a banner ad across the top. That's a sponsored brand ad. And then you'll see, and that'll be along the top, in the middle, and the bottom. And then you'll see a lot of placements, paid placements. It will have sponsored in the corner. And, going back a number of years, when I first started selling, which was like 2015, there wasn't as many paid placements in those search results as there are now. So once you go into search results now on Amazon, I think even above the fold, if there's 3 organic placements, that's a lot. Every other placement will be paid. Amazon has become very much a pay-to-play platform. It's becoming an advertising platform. So, essentially, if you want your products to be seen and you want your products to be visible, advertising your products, which is essentially driving paid traffic. So, so that, essentially your products become more visible in more places, so you can kind of win that click. Every time then someone clicks on your ad, they pay for that click. So it's really a way of advertising and really of standing out now on Amazon.
So you can't even count on having the buy box and that being enough to generate a sale, really, because you're going to have, if somebody were to search specifically for an item that has the buy box, and you have the buy box for that item, you could have listings at the top of the page, several of them, it sounds like, that are paid ads.
Yeah, and interestingly enough, if you don't have the buy box, your ads won't show. So it is kind of important, but that's not to say, like, your organic ranking is really important. Yeah, so you still want to be able to rank organically for your products. Yeah, you want to have those organic listings. Those organic listings are there. They do exist. They're just not as prominent as they used to be. But basically, by paying for traffic, paying for that visibility, that is essentially what drives a lot of your organic ranking. So, the whole purpose of paid traffic, the whole purpose of paid advertising is to drive your organic ranking. That is the ultimate goal. And so they don't kind of work in competition with each other. It's just in recent years, advertising has become much more important. It's become a bigger revenue generator for Amazon as well. So that is definitely a part of it. But also with the increase in competition on the platform, with thousands of new sellers entering the platform every day, it's getting kind of competitive on there. And again, paid advertising is one way to stand out and to make sure you're as visible as you can be in lots of different places, in lots of different formats.
And just out of curiosity, who would benefit the most from working with sponsored profit? I mean, who is your target user?
So we try to help all folks. So as an agency, we typically work with more established sellers. So sellers who are generating sales of sort of $25,000, $50,000 per month and upwards. But we also have a training platform, a training program with very easy to use software for smaller, newer sellers who are looking to get established, to kind of give them confidence to optimize their campaigns and to do it quickly in as little as 10 minutes. a week. And so we like to be able to help, all folks. And so we have two very different offers, a do-it-yourself training platform with software, and then a do-it-for-you, a done-for-you managed service where we'll take care of the campaign management for those bigger sellers.
Gotcha. So in your philosophy is that really anyone that sells can benefit from some kind of advertising?
It's to be honest with you, it's not even about benefiting. It's essential. If you're not advertising, it's so difficult to get those few organic spots and to rank organically without that kind of paid traffic, that paid juice behind you. It's kind of tough. Again, going back to sort of, when I first started out 2015 or so, sure, you could sell products without advertising. It's changed a lot since then, and there's certainly been some pushback, and I understand sort of sellers' frustrations, with these changes. But it's kind of just the way it is now on Amazon. And again, with the volume of products and the volume of sellers on there, advertising is really the only way to stand out. But at the same time, it can, we see advertising transform businesses. Like it's a force. It's a force for good. I think there's a healthy sort of skepticism with certain sellers who, feel that maybe it's just one more way for Amazon to make money out of sellers and one more fee to pay. And I understand that, but I think that sentiment comes from sellers who haven't got their advertising dialed in. And so, they're spending money and they're wasting money. And this is why it's all about optimizing and making sure which keywords drive sales, which don't, which campaign types work better for you, which don't. And, and that's a lot of work. And that's why we have training. That's why we have software. That's why we have services. But when it works, it's transformative. That's how brands scale. That's how successful sellers become successful and become top sellers and big sellers. It's primarily through advertising. So it's definitely a force for good, if you know how to do it and to do it right. If you don't, it can be a bit of a money pit, and it can leave a sour taste in sellers' mouths. But it works, and it's there to help them build and grow a business. It's not there to to take away from them. It's there really to help them. I do genuinely believe that.
All right.
Do you have to deal with a little bit of skepticism from potential clients when it comes to advertising? Because I think the common thing is when you see these lists and you see, oh, it's an advertising, well, I'm going to just scroll. At least that's the way I've gotten to when I'm searching for something, because I'm really not sure about the product. Well, they're pushing this on me, but is it that great? So I know that there's, on the consumer's side of things, there's a bit of skepticism. So does that carry forward to the business owner that's coming to you about pay-per-click, and it's like they're hesitant as well because they may have that same skepticism? Or
no, actually, that's a really interesting question. I think where skepticism has come from consumers is around reviews. And with the manipulation of reviews that we saw going back a few years. So definitely from that perspective. As far as ads are concerned, it's really interesting. I've never thought about that before. I've never been asked that. I don't think so. It's interestingly enough, 89% of buyers trust Amazon. It is a trusted sort of place to shop, and actually 55% of shoppers in the US, they start their shopping journey on Amazon. That's where they go to get gifts. So the level of trust is there, but it's the reviews part that I think kind of threw people for a while, and quite rightly so, because there was some shonky stuff going on, and Amazon, in fairness to them, it took them a while, but they got on top of that and they've cleaned that up, which is great. That's definitely a good thing for the platform.
I should clarify too that I have seen things because of the ads that I hadn't known were actually on the marketplace. So I've discovered products that have actually been really great by actually looking at the ads. But if I know exactly what I'm looking for, and then I see this off-brand that's kind of pushing their version of it, I'm not always am I going to be clicking to check on it, but the times that I have, usually I find a good product. So
Oh,
I guess it
good.
goes both ways.
Yeah, absolutely.
And Laura, do you deal with other platforms, or is it strictly Amazon?
Strictly Amazon.
Okay.
Yeah, that's all we do. That's enough. Keeps us on our toes. It's changing all. Yeah, it's changing all the time, and there's so many more ad formats now. I mean, what I've talked about today primarily is focused around sponsored products, which still does about sort of 70% of paid sales on the platform. But I mean, it's changed a lot since we've been in this business. So yeah, just Amazon. That's all we can cope with.
Oh, great. And do you think PPC is the best option for Amazon sellers, like versus other platforms? I mean, I'm guessing that since you only deal with Amazon, that is your belief that it makes more sense to use the PPC to get them to the product on Amazon.
Yeah, it is, and I'll explain why. It's not the only way, but it's certainly where everyone should start that are selling on the platform. And so there's like over 151 million Amazon mobile users in the US.
Wow.
Right?
That's a lot.
That's a lot of customers, right? And so the advantage that Amazon has, and this probably sounds like I'm sort of evangelizing Amazon and Amazon advertising. I'm not, but the fact is with Amazon you have built-in customers. They're there. They're there. They're shopping. They're looking for gift ideas. There's a time and a place certainly for other advertising formats, but if you want to advertise on other platforms, whether it's Google, whether it's Facebook, you need to know your audience because you need to go find them. Right, you need to be able to go target them, and whether it's through pixels or whether it's through search terms on Google. Whereas with Amazon, they've got the app, they're there, they're like Jeff, they're looking for ideas or whatever it is, and that's pretty hard to beat, and that's why Amazon is still the most effective and profitable direct marketing channel for Amazon sellers. It's not the only one, and there's a place for all the others. But it's absolutely the key place to start because they're there and they want to buy.
It's not quite a captive audience situation, but it's the next best thing, really. I mean,
pretty much.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, very much so.
I don't know. Did you already ask about the coursework?
No,
Kim?
no.
Oh, okay.
No, that's something that we definitely would want to talk about.
I just saw that.
Okay. Yeah. So basically, we have an academy, Sponsored Profit Academy, and one of my business partners, Tim Peatman, put this course together. It's awesome. It's a very extensive training course for sponsored products. It's there's hundreds of quick over the shoulder and how-to tutorials, and we kind of break it down campaign by campaign. And essentially what we do is we will take sellers through the journey of this is where you need to start. This is where this is how you find your first set of keywords. This is how you set up your first campaign, all the way through to building out a complete sponsored products campaign and structure. And so we have that. And then, as I said, we've complemented that with some pretty easy to use software that does a lot of the heavy lifting for optimizing, finding those keywords, optimizing those bids, optimizing those keywords. And then we have a supportive community and support channel so that folks can ask questions. So yeah, if you go to the website sponsoredprofit.com/academy, we have a 14-day free trial where you can go in, check out some of the tutorials and some of the videos. You can have a little spin around the software and see how you feel about it, and then obviously ask us any questions. And that's a great place for new sellers or people who are newer to PPC to start. We kind of try to make it as step by step and hold your hand through that to make it as least scary as possible. We try to simplify it as much as we can, and as I say, take away a lot of the heavy lifting.
That's great. And I was on the website and see that there's free information there too for anyone who wants to know what PPC is all about, how much revenue they should be pulling in, before they consider that, questions that you need to ask before you have a PPC agent. So some really great information, I think, before anyone even commits to anything. Which is great. I was just curious too, when people come to you and they have a business, what's maybe one or two of the most common mistakes that you've seen people making when it comes to advertising?
The most common mistake, and established sellers make this mistake as well, so it's not even like it's a rookie mistake, is not having their product listing optimized. So we have something we call it CPR, right? Conversion. You need CPR. You don't need PPC. You need CPR. So conversion. So again, talking about your product listing, making sure it is as persuasive and compelling as possible, that you've got high quality images, that you're converting as many of those people that land on your page as possible into shoppers. And then we have pricing. Really important that you're competitively priced, especially if you have a new product, because the next part of CPR is reviews. And so, Amazon actually recommends that you have at least 15 reviews before you start advertising. So if you can remember CPR, have a high converting product listing, be competitively priced, have reviews. All of that influences your PPC. It's really important for folks to understand that your advertising, it's not in an ivory tower separate from the rest of your FBA business. Everything plugs into it. Your inventory. So, you guys will know this. Being in stock is paramount for the success of your campaigns. If you run out of stock, not only will you lose things like ranking, but again, if you've optimized your keywords and you've optimized your bids, you run out of stock, all of a sudden you'll find your cost per clicks. When you come back in stock and you go back to target those keywords, your cost per clicks will have probably increased. And then you've got to start optimizing them down again, because it's almost like the clock stops and it goes backward on all the optimization you've done, and then it kind of starts again. So, and this really all feeds into the fact that Amazon is all about providing the best possible shopping experience. That when people, click on an ad, that it's for a product that they're expecting, right? That it's relevant to what they're looking for. That the listing sort of speaks to them and it's what they're looking for, and that they're in stock as well, right? Amazon don't want people to kind of go through that process and then go, oh, this product isn't in stock. Oh, shoot, I've got to start my search all over again. That doesn't make for a very good experience. So yeah, the biggest sort of mistakes we see is not having a compelling and quality product listing. And then the second one would be what we call doing too much with too little, having too many keywords in a campaign with too small a budget. Because again, what will happen is you'll get a lot of clicks, and if you've got lots of keywords getting lots of clicks and a small budget, you run out of budget, and as soon as you run out of budget, your ads disappear until the next 24-hour cycle. So so those two things are really key. You're better off having a higher budget with lower bids than the opposite, because otherwise you just become invisible as soon as you're out of budget. So that's really key. Less is more when it comes to keywords.
It's good to know.
Yeah, this has been pretty eye-opening, I got to tell you, because there's a lot of moving parts to this. I can see where a business such as yours, guiding somebody through all the pitfalls would be pretty beneficial. So you do offer the guided kind of thing where you pretty much manage the pay-per-click process for the customer. Plus, you also have the kind of the self-taught, self-driven option. So okay, yeah, that's good. They have that option. Maybe if they're not
equal
sure.
opportunities.
Yeah, there you go.
We're equal opportunities.
That's
Yeah,
great. So
absolutely.
it doesn't feel too overwhelming or intimidating to somebody who really doesn't have any idea where to start.
Yeah, absolutely. And and I hope that the presentation sort of kind of wasn't kind of too overwhelming. Sometimes when you're so close to things, it's kind of sometimes hard to kind of zoom out and kind of keep the basic concepts as relatable and as impactful as possible. But the one thing I want to say is that I don't want people to be put off by Amazon advertising, and because we get that it's a big pain point for sellers. Second to inventory, it can be their highest expense, and it can also be a barrier to success for sellers. And certainly for our part, the reason that we do what we do is we want to remove that barrier to success. There's a lot of great brands out there. There's a lot of great sellers who just need eyeballs on their products. To build a business and to build a better life for them and their loved ones. That's why they've started out. And so we absolutely encourage that, and we want to support that, and we want to help as many sellers as we can. So that's why we provide the different offers that we do to try and help as many people as we can.
That's great. And thank you so much for coming on today with so much information. It was so great to have you here, and I'm so sorry. Normally we have that Facebook audience, and they're usually the vocal ones.
Right.
Okay.
The questions. And unfortunately, I mean, we will stream it later on our Facebook page, and of course, it's available on YouTube. So, so other than going to the website, is there anything else folks should know if they're interested in working with you?
No, I mean, just go to the website. We're contactable. Either through contact us, either through schedule a call, as I said, through the PDF. So just get in touch. And if when you get this up on Facebook and your Facebook folks have lots of questions, then make sure you get in contact with me or tag me or something, and I'll be happy to answer any questions. So I don't want to leave anyone stranded. I feel like I might have dodged a bullet and I'm not getting a ton of questions right now. So
Okay.
I'll have a chance to prepare. So
I think we had a bunch of them for you though. So yeah. So
I know. And Laura, I know that obviously the company is UK based, but what Amazon markets do you work with?
Oh, so that's a really good question, actually. And so 100% of our clients sell in the US, and I'd say probably about 75% of our clients are based in the US. And then we have some folks here in the UK and then in Australia. So yeah, don't be put off by.
That's why I wanted to make sure we cover that.
Yeah.
Just because you're based in the UK doesn't mean you don't work with the American market.
No, absolutely not. And it's like coming up to 10 p.m. at night here, and so we're well used to working on the US time zones and everything.
Well,
we love our American cousins. So yeah, no, we're absolutely delighted to work with the US market and the US sellers.
That's great to know. Thank you so much. And I think we're out of time. That went by so quick. I can't believe it.
Got a couple of swag bags to give out. So
we do. I mean, should we even bother with the wheel, Jeff? We've got 2 people that popped into the comments, I think, by default. I think we're good.
We'll just,
We've
not even a drum roll, but
in heaven for heaven for.
Heaven forever for. Make sure you email support@inventorylab.com and we'll get you a swag bag. And also Wayne Scott. Send us an email with a mailing address, both of you, and we'll get those swag bags out to you as well. So
and again, to our Facebook viewers who are normally here to support us, we're not sure where the issue has been, but again, this will be posted on our Facebook page and you can catch it on YouTube. But I'm sorry that our Facebook people weren't able to join us today.
We'll post the full video on Facebook, which they'll see. So so they'll get the full benefit, and except you won't get to answer any questions from them.
I know. But folks, like I said, go to the website, learn as much information as you can, because it sounds like a really great service.
Yeah, this has been really eye-opening. I got to tell you, this was pretty informative. That was a great presentation.
It really
A lot
was.
of good info, yeah.
And I didn't feel overwhelmed, and I don't know what I'm doing. So,
No.
it was
Okay.
definitely, it was spot
Yeah.
on.
I passed the Kim test, so I'm
You
I'm
did.
good.
Yeah,
I'm
yeah, you
good.
did.
All right. Okay.
Yeah,
Okay. I'm
you're
happy
in.
with that. Okay. That's good.
All right. Well, that's it, I guess. Till the next edition in a couple of weeks, we'll have another Open Lab. So join us then, and hopefully Facebook will be able to join us. But
I hope so.
get it fixed, Mark. Come on.
Yeah,
Let's
come
go.
on.
No time for this. Anyway, thanks again, Laura.
Okay.
Have
Thanks,
a good
guys.
night
Thanks
over
for
there.
having
Thank you
me.
so much.
Thank you
Take
very
care.
much.
Get some
Take
sleep.
care.
Thank you. All right.
Bye.
Bye-bye.